Hello guys, my name is Allan Hurtado. I'm a student physical therapy assistant. Today I'll be going over sliding sheets and what they are. So the objectives will be what are the sliding sheets, what the purpose of using the sliding sheets for, and the different ways you can use them. So have you guys ever seen or heard of sliding sheets?
Yep. I have heard. I worked at a SNF, and if there were, I think there are. It's kind of a thicker fabric, but there are pads that the residents were sitting on, and you use them to help transfer them across. I think.
Somewhat.
Somewhat like that.
I brought one first.
Okay, that's not.
No,
yeah.
They're also called low friction sheets. They are very slippery, so they kind of help in the process of.
Oh. Yeah,
it makes it easier on yourself.
We did not have one of those.
So what are the purpose of the sliding sheets? It's to provide safe patient mobility, as well as preventing and reducing the risk of musculoskeletal injuries for the clinical team, like yourselves. Basically, normally when you transfer, you're using your back most of the time, and usually that's where your injuries come from. Back injuries, picking up, lifting heavy patients. So there's different ways you can use the sliding sheets. The first one is for the bed mobility. And Kevin, I'm going to just step up here.
Want me to lie down?
Yeah, lay down. Okay. Go lower. Right there. So usually when you transfer a patient onto the bed, they're not normally going to be all the way at the top, to the top of the bed. They'll usually be halfway, or if not a little bit lower, but most of the time you have a pad under them that you could, which most of us do if you work in hospital, acute care setting. You usually stand behind them and just pull it up, but that's a lot of strain on your back. If there's another person there with you, usually just grab one side each and then just pull them up. So with the low friction sheet, the patient will be doing it himself. You just let them know what to do. You'll place the sheet under the patient. The first thing you'll do is you fold the sheet in half. You'll put the open side to their head, the folded side by their bottom. So you'll want to have the patient, usually it's in a bed, so he'll have rails here where he'll help you turn. Good. Turn to the side.
Which side?
On your side. Yeah, not bad. Don't fall.
Okay.
So you'll put the bottom, the folded side on their bottom, and the open side towards their head. Come back. Then you'll have them go to the other side. There you go. So the sheet is under him. What you'll do next is you'll have the patient bend their knees, bend their legs, all the way. They'll just hold on to their legs, and then you have them push up. Just push up, and they'll slide up all the way to the top. So you didn't have to go and do all that pulling and hurting your back in the process. So that's one of the easiest ways to do it. And let's say you have to turn the patient to their side and they're not able to. Just careful, don't fall. It's slippery. You just pull you pull the sheet and they slide to the side.
Oh man, that's cool.
And same vice versa. You can come back. The next one is transferring them from the bed to the chair using just the sheet. So then we'll head over there and show you guys how to transfer it just using the sheet. Okay, let's say you have the patient already at the side of the bed. Next thing you want to do, you have to put on this gate belt. You gotta make sure it's tight. That's good. You want to lower down the bed. Bring your legs together. Get your wheelchair close enough. And make sure that it's easier if you take off the armrest and have the chair close enough to the bed to where he doesn't have as big of a gap here to where he can potentially fall. So you want to fold the sheet in half again. You want to grab it like if from the middle. Stick it under the bottom, just like that. Sort of like a sliding board. And then just, there'd be no need for you to actually lift them. It's more of a sliding motion. So you just slide them, and it slides on straight onto the wheelchair. The second thing you could do, let's come back this way. Let's say the patient has a sliding board available in his room, but the patient doesn't have enough strength to actually push himself through the sliding board onto the wheelchair. So what you want to do is basically the same thing. Hold it in half. Put the sliding board under him. Next thing you want to do is this sliding sheet under him. You don't want to wrap the sliding sheets around the sliding board, just right on top of it. Come back this way. And then the same thing's going to happen. You tell your patient, just try to grab onto that armrest. And the same thing, you're not going to lift him up. You're just going to drag him. And then you'll just slide right onto it. Okay guys, so I just demonstrated to you guys 3 different ways you can use it. And let's ask you some questions. What are the benefits of using the slide sheet?
Safety,
What kind of safety?
like for your back, as a healthcare professional, so you're like not straining.
Which I've had experience using them that work a lot better than trying to lift a 300-pound person.
Yep.
So I have a question for you.
Yes.
So is that like a one-person thing, or can 2 people use it, or how does that work?
Well, the ones I demonstrated to you was one person. The reason why I folded it in half was so you could cause that low friction action where the sheet slides within itself. If it's a heavier person, you might want to use 2 people and also 2 sliding sheets, so you cover the whole person and you could still have that low friction movement. Yes.
Do you always have to use a gate belt, or can you just use the sliding sheet?
No, the gate belt is, yes, you need it all the time. It's just for safety precautions. It doesn't replace any gate belt or any transfer board. You do have the option of just using the slide sheet, but if the patient has a slide board available in his room and he's been using it for a while, then this just makes it a lot easier for him to do. Any more questions? No? Okay. In conclusion, so what we talked about today was what is the sliding sheet and what are the purposes of the sliding sheet. So we talked about sliding sheets being used for vet mobility transfers, which help not only the patient, but they help you in a sense that you won't hurt your back as often as you would if you had to lift the patient yourself, or lift the patient yourself. That's pretty much it, and here are my sources.